Feel free to talk.
Boss, we've done all as you said.
Are you sure about that?
Yes, boss. Everything like you asked. It's in my car, boss.
I'm surprised. You're actually good for something. So, where is it, Brady?
Here, in the trunk.
What the fuck is that? You fat Irish prick. You're supposed to bring me a coat, not a skinny animal kid. Where is LOOT.BET code I asked it for?
Well, he wasn't talking.
Are you out your mind, Brady? Because I swear, I put your brain to sleep. He ain't talking because his fucking mouth is closed.
So, maybe I should open it.
Oh, don't kill me, please. I tell you everything. God is loot. I'm young. I don't wanna die.
Boss, code is loot.
Oh my god, idiot. Fuck, I surrendered by idiots.
Hey, kid. Sorry about that.
Hello and welcome to another day of LOOT.BET games, and once again, just like yesterday, it is I, Danshan, and Flakes is here as well. How are you doing?
I'm good. Looking forward to diving into this one. Looks like we have ourselves an interesting day of Counter-Strike ahead of us, especially given, obviously, yesterday was a much quicker affair than we
Yeah,
anticipated.
bit of a beatdown.
But today, when you look at the two teams we've got, you've actually got some pretty interesting Counter-Strike. Of course, NAVI Jr. up against the likes of Sangal.
Yeah, I'm actually really looking forward to this match. I think it could be a great three-map affair. I think we've got all the makings for some really explosive Counter-Strike. You've got the likes of some star players on that on both sides, in fact, who might try and just take this game by the cojones and just try and run with it. But obviously, we'll wait and see because expectations quite often don't meet reality, as we learned yesterday.
Yeah, I feel like that definitely was the case. We went into yesterday thinking it was going to be an absolute banger of a game, and then I think what was it, 16-1 map 1.
Yeah.
Map 2 got a little bit closer, but still ended up being sort of the same 2-0 result. So hopefully this one will actually live up to the hype. Of course, looking at the two rosters here, you can see that what I think the names that people will often recognize in the Sangal side is it pretty much is the same core, with a few different players thrown in that have been playing together for what feels like as long as I can remember. I mean, I've seen Paz, Engine, and Major on a team now for 5 years, I want to say. Like a very long time.
Yeah, quite a while. They had a long stint in Space Soldiers. But one thing I think I find is very interesting about the comparison between these two teams. Sangal had average age there of just under 24, while Navi Junior's average age was just over 17.
It's like yesterday all over again. It's the same, same like super young squad that are really green, but just trying to sort of grab the experience and make it work. And we saw the difference yesterday, didn't we? We saw it really was kind of this pick-based, loose, aggressive play up against a more sort of patient, passive team who was willing just to wait for the frags to come to them. So I do wonder if we'll see a little bit more of that as well.
Yeah, and obviously Navi Junior, they battled here through the closed qualifier. They showed some good stuff there against the likes of sort of Astralis Talent, the GTZ Bulls, against KC Esports as well. So certainly for them, they've picked up a bit of preparation coming into this tournament, and they started off with a win. Both of these teams did, as it is the Swiss stage. But we'll get into the map veto here. As you can see, we are going to be having Train, Dust 2, and Mirage as our three maps.
I do love a bit of Train and Dust 2. I'm not sure about Navi Junior and Dust 2 though.
I'll agree. I'll agree with you on Train. Not a massive fan of Dust 2. I think it's done its course in CS:GO. I think it's time to bring in a new map, but that's a discussion for another time. I think
it's fair to agree with that, but I think the beauty of Dust 2 is it really kind of really spreads out the men from the boys when it comes to who can play aggressive Counter-Strike, who can really go for those picks, make those audacious plays, because Dust 2 is a map where if you can't hit your shots, you are not winning that map.
Yeah, it is a very sort of pug-heavy map, as it's Mirage in some cases as well. I mean, obviously there is still more tactical elements to it, but it's quite often played in those sort of like FPLs, ESEAs. So we'll see how this series transpires. You can see that the win rates of both these teams on these maps. Train should be a pretty fun affair. Dust 2, the win rate there doesn't exactly hold up to how they play on Dust 2. Quite often they're getting sort of towards 10 or so rounds on Dust 2s, which I think is fair for a map you don't pick yourself, but obviously Sangal going to come into that one of the favourites, so for Navi Junior they really want to be picking their own map pick of Train here, just to lock down the opportunity for a third.
Yeah, I think that's got to be the goal, right? You've got to make sure if you're Navi right now, you're just going relatively strong, secure map 1, knowing that map 2 is probably going to be the hardest point of the best of 3 for you, in theory. Once you've got past map 2, map 3 is where you would expect Navi, actually, I think, to take the win going into that third map. So this is really going to be kind of getting the first part of the job done. As you can see, good old Danilo, making sure the teams are ready to go. And from there, we will make sure we can start this match. I translate what that says, but I have absolutely no idea. But I assume it means something along the lines of, yes, we should start again.
Yes, and let's hope there's no... there's nothing untoward in the top left.
We can stand chance see a Discord notification in the top left. Thank you for letting us know.
It's all going wrong in the early days. Oh dear. I forgot that would appear, obviously, but yeah, we are ready to go. We are hoping we get going shortly. I mean, AWPs on Train, I think, are a staple for this map. You quite often have those AWPers that need to go sort of into huge numbers on Train because it's just so flexible playing it from both sides of things on the attack and defense. You can get a lot going for yourself on the T side of Train, so luckily...
What you need is a good T AWPer. That's the thing. So CT AWPing is, don't get me wrong, CT AWPing's fun, and you can see someone really put in the work on CT side with the AWP. But really, where you see kind of the real play shine is on that T side, using the AWP to force open those early picks, because getting a single frag early on, grabbing an A pick from, for example, T-Con, or rushing down to B halls and getting that early frag from B lower, catching the push, those sort of early frags of the AWP really make a difference in these rounds. They are very much make or break it.
Yeah, and I think Menezi is going to be an AWPer that can sort of bring that that firepower to the T side of things. He's been very strong. He's been one of the top performers for this Navi Junior side. So I'd expect him to be the one starting off strong and giving them those sort of opening picks that you require from the AWPer. But obviously, Sangal, they'll be trying to step up to the task as well. I'm not sure actually who is the AWPer for Sangal. Is it not Major, is it? No, surely not. I'm trying to think. Oh, we'll find out, won't we? No. Hopefully we will just be getting into things shortly.
I think we're just solving a few technical gremlins. I was just checking to see if there's any messages from our wonderful production team, but it looks like it's all silent, which tends to mean we're about to get things kicked off here.
Yeah. If you're hearing nothing, that's good. If you're hearing something, something's gone wrong. Just do want to point out, obviously, this is the Swiss stage still for the LOOT.BET Cup, and $50,000 up for grabs as the prize pool for this tournament. So a healthy chunk of Wonga there for the teams to be playing for. And right now, both these teams they are currently sat 1-0 after winning their opening matchups. This is the round 2 matchups. If they can get themselves to a 2-0 scoreline very quickly in the Swiss, that would make things very easy for themselves. Give yourselves a lot of chances to get yourself over the line into the playoffs. As if you drop this game, it's a 1-1 scoreline, and it's not anywhere near being over. You can still afford yourself another loss, but you start to use up your chances, and it gets a little bit more uneasy.
The upside, it looks like everyone will be nice and warm as they are well and truly exploiting all of the warm time they can get at this point. Definitely get ourselves ready to dive on through. And there we go. The resets come on through. The match set to begin. It all comes down to this. Map 1, a best of 3. A lot of money on the line here as we kick things off with another match of LOOT.BET. It's crazy. I was about to say LOOT.BET Season 8, but we've done so many seasons of LOOT.BET at this point. We're in Season 9. It's crazy. I remember casting LOOT.BET Season 2.
I don't. I wasn't there. It's weird to remember something that you didn't do. Sort of how memory works. But we do just get into knife
What
round.
is that? 53% T rounds win. I mean, we're playing train, so...
Yeah, that's actually kind of impressive.
That's kind of surprising. I'm not sure about that.
Yeah, that's not what I'd expect going into train.
Yeah, so something tells me that stat might not quite be right.
I wonder if it's something to do with, obviously, maybe sort of more often than not you have teams that pick train. They start on the T sides. Maybe? Something to do with that, so... They end up winning the game and not actually playing that many CT rounds? Or something like that? I don't know. Interesting stat. True, but... Should be seeing Sangal starting out on that CT side. Navi Jr. will take the first turn at the offense, which I think will be fun. And we can see if Menezzi can really get that AWP working early on, as you sort of went over earlier.
Well, all this talking, all these what ifs, all these things that could happen. It's all going to come down to this, Danjan. The pistol. It's going to start right here and right down.
Really went for some soft tones there, didn't you? To warm us into this one.
They just gotta, gotta get us in sort of nice and smooth, nice and sensually for the morning.
Yeah.
And it all kicks off here. We're gonna get into the excitement, get into the heat. But
Yeah, you don't want to go too explosive too early. That just makes a recipe for a tough day.
Oh boy.
Engine
There's an
will have
innuendo
a
in there
kit.
somewhere, but I'm
Yeah,
gonna leave that to
I'm gonna
to rest.
quickly move on from that. Engine, he has a kit, so at least Sangal they can go for this retake setup that they've got towards that B side. As Navi Jr. they have gotten the bomb planted. The B site generally a very easy site to get that bomb planted on as a T side. So Sangal now blocked off from the smokes as they start to fade. We'll have a little bit of a cheeky peek in, see if they can spot anyone, and there goes Menezzi. Nice opening frag, but trades galore come through, and it ends up in an even 3-on-3. That is until Cynex and Poglev are going to be spinning on a pivot. Finding shots, leaving it all up towards Logic, who was coming in from the flank. He has been spotted, he has been tagged down, and with 3 players to find a no kit in his grasp, round is done.
Yeah, there's nothing the poor man can do there, can he? He's just stuck ramp. He knows he's got 100% coverage from heaven coming through. He's being lit up from the lower side as well. There is just nowhere for him to go. Also goes downhill from there. You got to give credit to the bulk of the T's. They all hit their shots.
Yeah.
Not a single Glock shot missed. It was just complete point-blank execution. And Navi Jr., they do open up strong with a T pistol, which, to be fair to them, you know, when you're looking at a team and you're saying, okay, this is a team who they do love a bit of train, that's exactly what you want to be seeing. Opening up nice with a T pistol, building from that.
Yeah, for sure. And, I mean, nice shot came through from Major, actually, to open up the retake in the previous round. But needs a bit more than just a nice opening here, as they have a couple scouts. MP9, a couple pistols. Not all too much for them to be working with, but there's certainly opportunity here for these scouts to find some tags, maybe soften up a few targets for those pistols and the SMG to clean up. That'll make things a lot easier for them, that's for sure.
The scout meta is really an interesting part of Counter-Strike because it is all about securing those tags, as you say. I like to think of it as kind of chip damage. It's,
Yeah.
you know, you're working your way, your opponent down bit by bit across the map. Could be a couple different players, but there will come a point in time where those SMG players or those scouts, I mean, either or, can come in and cash in on that later on in the round, assuming they can hit their shots. So it really does add up over time. The more damage you can do spread out across your opponent, the better it can be. The problem here is we're at the 40-second mark, and the only damage done is to the CT side. The T's have been able to completely hold in unexposed on this push. Yes, they only have 30 seconds left, but you're not going to hold this angle with a scout. The scout isn't about to get 3 headshots back to back. It's more than likely going to get flashed off and then have to fall back. So a bit of a challenge here for Logic Man. We'll do so far so good, but eventually going to be traded as we expected. And from here, this is where the going gets tough now. These rifles come rolling on through. They should be able to make pretty easy work of this defense.
10 seconds. They need to get that bomb planted. Luckily, they've been able to clear out most of the defenders, so it is just Major who's been able to salvage an AK in all of the carnage. Where he is, his legs are spotted, so Navi Junior do pick up the round, but potentially more casualties than they would have hoped for in a round like that. Nice shot from Logic, though, with the scout. Does clip Menezi, who's been on the receiving end of a couple of nice shots from these Sangal players already. Now the Navi Junior side should just have themselves a pretty easy time of things into this next round, because it is just a couple USPs, a few deagles. Navi Junior have all the weaponry in the world to take these players to Pound Town, as Major's been dealt with very, very early on. The nade Mac 10 combo eliminates him from existence, and he has a very nice position towards the sandwich, but Paz, I was going to say, might be in a good spot to maybe catch him on the rotation, but spam through a smoke, that certainly cuts down his opportunities, leaving just Navi Junior with a guaranteed round here.
Yeah, I think this one was a bit of a distant dreams sort of affair. They're just trying to get what they can done with these pistols, but the reality is they weren't really ever competing for the round. They were just competing for a bit of damage. And to be fair, they did find the frag on towards Onker, but unfortunately unable to secure the weapon means it is just going to be the CT side sort of walking idly around the map, hoping they can snag a few headshots or two more. But I think with the time left in the current situation, you're probably not going to find anything.
Yeah, I mean, Navi Junior, they're all bunched up over towards main, so there isn't much chance of isolating a single player.
They moved Onker's gun as well, which is the other kind of unfortunate thing.
Yeah.
So there's no way they could even remotely get to it, so... Oh well, they have the money in the bank to be able to buy now anyway, so a saved gun would have done nothing but boost to their economy, but it's not the end of the world. They can still get the full buy, of course, with the utility on top as well. We're going to see the AWP come out, the 4 rifles to follow as well, the full utility. It's like a great Sunday roast. You've got all the trimmings, all the stuffing. Now, let's see if they can make a meal of it.
Damn, you're making me hungry, man. Let's see who's hungriest for the frags, though. Because that ult for Sensei gonna be in a bit of a duel against Menezi this game, who is actually going to be dueling him towards Ivy here. Just going to walk into the crosshair, though. It might just be Sensei picking it up. And it is. There wasn't really much to obstruct him there. Flashbang did come through, but it doesn't blind up Sensei. And he has just...
when your teammate gets a flash assist on your own kill. It's,
yeah.
Not what you like to see.
It is not the good vibes there.
In his defense, that flash would have made no difference on that kill or not. It would have been a case of he would have let that shot rip no matter what. So, yeah, obviously, for a comedic purpose than it is anything else. But, yeah, it's tough. I mean, that angle's difficult, even with a good flash. The problem is, if you peek it immediately as the flash pops, it's pretty predictable to know, okay, someone's peeking it. You just let rip, and that shot's pretty easy to connect. So, unfortunate stuff, but it does mean an opening frag for the CT side now as Navi look to reconvene towards the B site, evaluating their options over here to see if they can maybe make themselves a push through this upper and lower split.
Right now it is just Engine on defense right underneath the ladder. Has got Sensei actually rotate over for support that this B site desperately needs, because Fear's quickly opened up onto Engine. So the bomb can get planted because he was the only defender there stopping that. Sensei's going to let rip on another. And as NAVI Jr. try and find space, they're going to get caught out by Paz. Leaving just Orncare and Fear, both of them over towards the brown halls, expecting a rotation from the back lines, but none's going to come. Sangal, they're all in towards the site, and they're already defusing the bomb. It's a full 10-seconder as well.
I think you got to save this at this point. And Sensei's kind of ruined your day there with just a heck of a shot coming in from the AWP. If he is able to get away with frags like that, you pretty much know it's going to be a downhill affair pretty damn quickly. Of course, reliving the opening frag here, you can see what I mean. Even with that flash popping, it makes absolutely no difference. Just able to easily predict the peak and grabs the kill. This is another unfortunate scenario, just getting a little over-eager, pushing the smoke, and Paz is just there, ready and waiting. Definitely felt like a very textbook round there for Sangal. They played it perfectly, and we talked a little bit about this right at the start of the match. We talked about this idea of getting these picks. That's really what just happened. For Sangal, that wasn't a... We had an amazing game plan and we executed it to a T. We pulled off a great retake. They just got all the right frags. They got all the right individual kills that built up to a pretty easy round for them in the grand scheme of things. And a lot of that came down to the AWP of Sensei.
Yeah, and if he can keep doing that, it's going to make NAVI Jr.'s life very difficult. But there's Menezi having his turn. Takes down Engine. Who's not had a fun time so far. Once these guns have come out. Good work from Sensei, though. The peeking from heaven. Gets that refrag, gets the round back into a 4-on-4, and actually forces NAVI Jr. away from that B site take. Although Logic, he tries to chase for Fear, but up the ladder it's an awkward angle, and Fear has his number. But the kills, they keep on getting traded back and forth. Pogolev brings it into the Na'Vi advantage, though, and a 3-on-2 as they push in towards the site. Major holds his ground. The Major of his troops.
He has to find the... He has to be able to get that frag on back a train, otherwise his teammates have nowhere to push now. You see that smoke will buy them just enough time, but it also allows Major to slip trying through. Unfortunately, Fear will be able to secure the frag, so his dreams will be ended, but that got a bit sketchy there. You do want to be seeing that kill come through early towards the back of the train.
That was so almost a double as well, for Sensei. A single bullet towards brown holes. He then gets caught out by Menezi. NAVI Jr. instantly fire back with their own guns. And that leaves Sangal in an awkward position now. You can see just a few deagles, a single P250 for Sensei. Not gonna be much fun at all, really. It's surely gonna be maybe a kill or two going Sangal's way. Anything more than that, I think it's a pipe dream. Position for Logic, though, could be kind of nice. Pushed in towards main. Might have a chance to get an untraded frag there. But Onkir seems wise. He's not going too aggressive, not trying to clear this all out on his own.
Gotta be patient here in these kind of rounds. You don't want to give up those free picks to those Eagles, those P250s that will quite happily take your head off, especially at close range.
But they've only got 40 seconds, and there you go. They deal with Logic in towards main. Onkir gets that done. Major's having a bit of a peek out Ivy, though, and awkward. But he spots out a bit of presence. Knows that it's going to be a push in towards the A side after seeing that, so they can barrel members from that Sangal side in towards the outside position and try and just inflict as many casualties as they can. Right now, nothing's going their way. It's just kill after kill for NAVI Jr. And, it results in all 5 NAVI Jr. players alive at the end. So, very nicely done. NAVI biding their time, as you say. They had the patience just to wait and let the kills come to them. Guns out once more for Sangal. Double AWPs, in fact, for Sangal.
I like this
Logic.
changing it up a little bit. They've seen the AWPs work, right? They've seen some success with getting these picks. Sensei's been putting in the work as well. So if Logic can step up here and find a few of these opening jewels as well towards Ivy again, then expecting to see good things come through. And we'll go for the same repeat flash. Just come through. He gets tagged down to 25 HP, but no frag.
Yeah, it's good damage, but yeah, as you say, no frag and almost a bit of a moot encounter at that point, because with the AWP, Logic can still find heavy damage with that weapon. Obviously, one shot to the body can still find massive impact. Navi, they don't feel like they want to continue any aggression towards Ivy. They're actually going to turn their tail and run towards B instead. But with Engine aggressive towards Heaven, Sensei was providing a bit of support towards the back of site. He's just repositioning himself now to get a better angle on ramp, I believe. Well, this B defense is going to need to put up numbers. Sensei with the AWP. He's going to drop a Molotov, try and cut off the advance through ramp. He's going to actually look towards Heaven. I'm not sure if he realized his Engine was already pushed there. He does now, but Engine's going to be absolutely nailed by Cynix. The Molotov finishes him off. But a 4-on-4, and they need to get this bomb planted, Navi. There we go, it gets done. The kills are pretty even, but they don't expect Fear to be this far forward. It's kills all around. A 2v2 ensues, and Paz, no! Kills his teammate. Logic gets a bullet straight through the back of the cranium, and Paz now has to try and make up for his mistakes, and he at least takes down Fear, but Pogolev is in a great position here to shut down this round. There's almost no way he can lose this one. Has a bit of a peek. Bomb's not being stuck, but now he is going to stick it, Paz, and Pogolev. Yeah, there we go. Plays that perfectly. 6 on the board for Navi Jr. and Paz. You have to feel if he doesn't TK there, there's a chance in the round.
Definitely feels like they were not expecting Pogolev to be as far up as he was on the train there. Paz, in his defense, going for a quick sort of one-tap on the head of his opponent, trying to get that early frag, but unfortunately his teammate just strafes right in front of him at the worst possible moment, and it all goes downhill from there. Just a quick instinctual reaction. Unfortunately, loses the round. Now, 6-1, a T-side running riot here, has to be said.
Great start for Navi Jr. And a potential for a 7th here as well, because it is just the pistols and already an opening kill for that T side. Means that Sangal are already down a man alongside the lack of weaponry that they've got. That's a nice little push from B. Sensei's found one as well towards Ivy, so there's a couple kills coming through now for Sangal. That's actually brought things into a 3-on-3. Even more being found as Major on the Deagle, just not going to give up easily here. Menezi and Cynix, the last 2 alive, but that is a quick shot from Menezi. Evens things up into a 2-on-2. Needs to try and get that bomb towards the A site, though, and not before shooting Sensei. Expected the flank.
Absolutely none of it.
He's loving it right now with that AWP, but Engine is still alive, and the plant safe side not exposing themselves to that pop dog position. So Engine,
I think they know Engine could be there. That's the beauty of it. They smoked it off. They were aware that it could be a spot that could be taken by Engine on that rotate from B. So they've planted safe side, and now they know that he has to push them. That's the beauty of it. This is really smartly played. Now, Engine may still be able to catch off his opponent here once he peeks first line and easy. They're just not quite expecting to be as close and as personal as that. But still, his position's now known. It's still a 1v1. There's 10 seconds on the clock. I think all he can really do now is save the AWP. So sure, Monesi loses his life, but he's also made him spend about 5 years trying to hunt him down.
Expensive round, though. Very expensive. All 5 players going down for Navi, and Sangal, they bring an AWP out that round. Saved at the end there. That is a nice expense that they don't have to make for this next round. And this is, I assume, why they expected the pop dog position engine finding a kill top of the ladder already. But at the end of the day, it's still another round for the Navi side. And a timeout coming through. Definitely needed for Sangal here. And in fact, maybe for Navi as well, losing a lot of plays in a round like that might just sort of shake the confidence a little bit that you might have been building up. You don't have all too much cash in reserve now after this. You've got, obviously, Mnezi on the AWP again, about 3k per player for a couple of them. But you can see, like, Olenkir, Pogrolev, they aren't going to have enough for a rebuy in the next round if they lose this. So, yeah, it's tight economy for them, and they really did not want to lose that many players in the previous round.
Tough point in the game, though. That said, at the end of the day, no matter how you want to paint the picture, it's still 7-1 on the T side.
True. Still a very, very strong T side.
If it continues to go this way, then we could be seeing a very quick and easy map 1. That's for sure.
Navi do have a great record on train, so I mean, it was expected for them to put up a good show. Didn't expect Sangal to be struggling this much, though. They have played it sort of pretty consistently. They've had mixed results on it, but always sort of getting towards the sort of 10-round mark on most occasions. Looking like that might not be the case this time. Navi Junior keeping them just to that single round they found as when the guns first came out. And it was Sensei's AWP that actually found the opening for that round. Haven't seen that since. Obviously not had many chances with the AWP. Just with the nature of having to eco and then having limited buy rounds, but certainly I want to try and get that AWP firing a little more consistently now, and they'll go back into a double AWP setup with Logic on that secondary AWP.
To be fair to them, for the amount of frags that Sensei's been picking up with the AWP, those sort of flashy moments that we've seen him really pop off, when you look at them, the rounds they've won, it actually doesn't map out at all, does it? It really doesn't.
Menezi's been starting to find quite a lot of form with his AWP as well, which is a scary prospect.
Yeah, if you let him wake up, then you pretty much are just unplugging your mouse and keyboard, because if he gets into it, there's not really much stopping this Navi Junior side, so definitely something to be aware of. It's a key round here. Engine taking early control as they push on up. An aggressive AWP towards B as well, giving them a lot of information. Sangal, they've taken the world at this point, and they even get away with the early pick. This is beautiful. This is a good start. A very dominant CT side, trying to secure that second round.
Just as we talk about Sensei not having as much impact as he did in that first round they won, he gets the opening pick now, and well, that's lovely for them, but Engine almost throws it away. I'm not sure that was really a necessary peak. They're trying to extend their advantage out, but when you've got that one-man advantage, Engine's now left with just 6 points of health. And this is an awkward bit of a Mexican standoff. Cynix just had no chance there. 2 players on the other side of the smokes, it fades. And Sangal, they're just finding all the kills now. Pogrolev just jiggle peeking into Logic's AWP there. He goes down without a fight. And it's just Menezi and Olenkir with only 10 seconds on the clock. They have to save these weapons because, as I mentioned before the round got underway, limited economy for Navi Junior despite the amount of rounds they've been picking up.
Yeah, it's because they've been expensive. You noticed it yourself in the last round when they lost all 5 players despite securing their win. Apparently I can't speak this morning. And I think, much like I can't speak, it's their economy can't talk for itself either. They have taken so many losses that it is becoming a costly affair for them, even though the rounds are still sort of usually going their way. So that is something that you're going to have to keep a close eye on here. I mean, look, the full spend that's come into this round leaves them completely broke. They lose this round, Sangal go 3-7, and we start to see a pretty solid comeback from the CT side. So this game is far from done.
definitely so. This scoreline could be getting very, very close very shortly as Onkir. Oh, when's he going to realize he's being blocked inside of a smoke? Now he does. Turns around, shoots past his back of the head, jumping up. Just major the chance for the kill. And he will collect, but Puzzle level. Oh, planted inside of the smoke. Just about gets it down before the spray can rupture too many blood vessels. Still, Sangal, they're fighting. They've brought it into a 2-on-2, and it's actually now just a 1-on-2. With Engine, the last player alive, Menezes obliterated his teammate. He drops a smoke on the bomb. That takes out Fear. But Menezes isn't going to be so gullible. He'll catch the timing perfectly and finish off the final frag. But again, a costly round for NAVI Jr. And that will just stave off Sangal for a little bit longer.
How many rounds do you think in the CT side need to get here to be able to have a fighting chance in that second half?
More than 2.
I'm thinking you got to get to 4. You got to get to 4 bare minimum before you really
I was
in a good
personally
place.
thinking 5, maybe 6 if you want a realistic chance.
4 on a
of
pistol.
fighting back.
4 on a pistol, I think.
Yeah.
You get 4 on a pistol, you can make it work, but anything less, that's where it begins to get a little bit sketchy. You start to run out of those gun rounds to play with. Let's see here, though. Engine, for a cheeky, aggressive play, will pay some dividends, especially if Onga decides to get the kill through his teammate's head.
Yeah.
It's the first time for everything, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, trying to do a pass, but his teammate has too much HP, so not able to collect. But even with that sort of risque shot, NAVI Jr. are still left in a man disadvantage because over towards the yard, it was kills from Logic that have been able to pull it into that Sangal advantage. Menezes, though, he's still about and he's still got that AWP in his hands. So it's far from an easy round for the Sangal side. Onkir is having a bit of a mooch towards Pop Dog. It's currently vacated, as he will soon discover. Paz up towards Heaven. How quickly will he show himself? He's going to just try and tuck himself in, keep himself in a hidden position and try and strike when the timing's right. Might not need to if Logic is going to keep finding shots, but now Paz actually brought out very early on. His team still trying to fight. Fight they will and secure the kills. They definitely will. As it's a 3rd on the board and NAVI Jr.'s economy again. It was only 1 player surviving that previous round. Ooh, there's only 1 player surviving that previous round, so they didn't really build up any economy, and it's gonna have to be a very broken buy in this one.
Yeah, I think broken's maybe a nice way of putting it. They don't really have much to play with at all. I mean, the fact of the matter is they've got, what, a rifle and a scout to play with. So, I love this from the CTs as well. They've realized, okay, they're going to be low money, so give me a flashbang. Let me get aggressive. Let me have some fun. Logic Unchained. It works out beautifully.
So much damage being done as well. The nade, the spam. NAVI Jr. receiving about 100 HP of damage plus the kill they received onto Onkir, so they are very, very tender. Look at Engine as well. He wants some fun. Oh, he's found everything. 2 quick kills from him. A nice shot from Menezes on the scout, though, to at least limit it to just the 2. Snynix's Deagle trying to find shots and can't really connect any kills, leaving just Menezes in a situation that is pretty unfair. Actually, his Paz gives him a one-way treat. Well, there's the 4 anyway.
It's starting to come back. You got to give him credit where credit is due. Not only is it 4, but also this has to be an eco round now from this NAVI side to set themselves up for round 14 and give them that kind of last sprint to the finish. So because of that, we're likely going to see 5 unless a miracle happens. So this is actually looking pretty good for Sangal now. They have themselves a way back in, I'd say.
Yeah. for sure. And that nade, ooh, if it was a second or two earlier, would have had so much damage. Has to make do of just about 50 instead, as the Navi Junior players had already passed the danger zone. And I think they're just going to go for the bomb plant here. Just everybody jumping in. Just give them as many targets to shoot at as possible. Just so they don't feel comfortable. As even though it's Glocks, you don't want to be taking too many shots from them. I mean, they found a single kill, Navi Junior, but now the Sangal side, they start to regain their composure as the kills start rolling in. And it's just Unkit. That was potential for another kill there, but the head
Gave it a
eludes
go,
him.
didn't he?
Yeah,
Not
he
really
fired
much
off
he
enough
could do with
shots.
just pistols, so...
But a kill and a bomb plant, pretty solid considering it was just Glocks.
Exactly. They've done the job. They got some damage through. They were able to also secure the bomb plant as well, which just gives a little bit of extra money in the bank. But what does this all lead up to, Danchan? It leads up to this moment right here. You have to now do something with it. We've seen them play a bloody good game of Counter-Strike so far, a bloody good half, in fact, getting themselves to 8 rounds on their T side. But they have allowed Sangal back into the game. So all they can hope to do now is lock down these last 2 rounds of the half, get the 10-5, and then start to run away with that gap again as they go into that second half pistol. Because I think for Navi, if you allow someone like Sangal to get up to, heck, an 8-7, best case, that's a disaster. I mean, look at this aggression here. This is beautiful. The confidence on Engine. He's really come alive the last couple of rounds now. Rather than sat back and waiting, they've been getting up in their faces, pushing, forcing the frags. It's a nice trade kill from an easy, though. Boosts up on top to secure the return frag towards Ivy. That nade should do a chunk of damage as well.
That's unexpected. And they're going to boost up over another box this time.
How is he alive?
Engine able to just about dodge away. I don't know how. He entered a different dimension there to avoid that shot, but either way, Menezes finds a kill in a different location, and it is an advantage once again for Navi Junior. 4 on 3. You can see the damage that's been done, and Menezes just going to keep firing off. They keep feeding him frags. Sensei and Engine are the last
they
two
just
alive.
have to be patient. This Ivy kill that Engine wants, he either has to push for it like that, or they just have to be patient. Right now, Engine's deciding that, you know, this is his time to go huge now. Grabs the EWP because he's got the bomb on lockdown. All he has to do is just lay siege. It's a bad smoke as well. It's a bad smoke. Oh my goodness, Engine, he gets away with it again. The repeat comes off. The kill secured. The bomb locked in the crossfire. The push comes through. Onka trying to make it happen. Creates a 1v1. Sensei versus Onka. Can he make this one stick? Punching in those numbers, going for the plant. The AWP going to sneak on up, staying scoped. I don't think he has any idea that Sensei is right behind him. He's going to peek on around. It's going to be around timing. The leg shot comes through. P250 out in hand. The push surely now has to follow as well. One shot. Oh, it's going to take. He flicks away. He gets another shot as well, but it's not quite going to connect. 35 HP. Molotov coming through as well. Now all he needs is one more shot to the body, and it's going to come through just like that. Sensei, he's going to get the job done. Picks up the AWP as well. What a round.
Oh my lord. I mean, Onke had no idea about the position of Sensei towards Ivy there, and just cleared it in killing Engine. Oh, I could have easily slipped away from Sangal there. I mean, it wasn't really Sangal's round to win with for much of that. Engine going huge with those 3 frags puts his team in that winnable position, and it almost gets thrown away there. The AWP tag, you think, okay, now Onke knows where the player is, and there's potential here. Just dancing around the trains. It seems like the kill constantly eluded Sensei, but he just about gets it in the end, and Sangal, they make their way to 6, and look at the weaponry for Navi Junior. It's not all too great. A few AKs, a Galil that's now already been removed from the round, alongside just a scout for Menezes. There's really not all much weaponry for them to work with, and yeah, even less now. It's a 4-on-5.
Molly's going to really throw a wrench in the works of Navi's plans now as well, completely slowing down that B play. Look at all those rotations coming through, Dan. Can you imagine that? You're hitting the B site, life's looking good. One Molotov is all it took for a 5-man rotate to come over to the site, and now it should be easy business to hold on to it. They have absolutely no idea that there's so many players here.
Yeah, it's all just falling apart. Menezzi, the last player alive, was trying to find a weapon in the madness, I think, to raid off the scout, but has to try and get that scout back in his hands and can't find any shots of it. So it is 7-8. Sangal, a huge comeback in that first half, and that sets them up actually pretty nicely for a T-side half here.
Danchan, you know what that is? It's an absolute bloody disaster for NAVI Junior, that half. An absolute bloody disaster. You start so strong. It's, you know, you've got all the performance, all the brazenness, the confidence, it's all there. The end performance, though, pretty weak finishing. Pretty weak finishing.
It was looking so good early on for NAVI Juniors. You can see they were locking them down to just these singular rounds.
I mean, they were
But then
8-2 at one point.
Yeah, I mean, then it all falls apart. All fell apart. And it's just... It was those rounds where NAVI Junior, they just ran out of weaponry. And ran out of cash. The expensive rounds that Sangal were able to find with the low econ, just the deagles and pistols, it allowed the Sangal side to get those sort of rounds back in where they were able to fight against the low weaponry, and where you can see how that turned out. NAVI Junior had to play a couple ecos there towards the end despite the huge lead that they had, and now they start on the CT side. Pistol round coming through. Onke has a kit and a smoke. Well, Engine will be a bit of a grenade mule for the T side. He's got a few bits of utility for his side. We're going for the totem pole. Are they? No, they
It's the
didn't.
classic face it strategy. You get yourself in the totem pole, and then away you go.
And
Find out Ivy.
they actually decide not to, which is sad. Do love a totem pole.
Probably the smarter decision. I mean, if you're
Yeah.
making decisions like that for your pistol at such a crucial point in the game, maybe you should have some second thoughts about your strategies as you try and become professional players. Looks like they go for the more sensible option, which is out towards the B site, relying on these USPs to connect the shots. And I've got to be honest, it seems like these CTs cannot find anything right now, struggling to connect these kills. Logic comes flying through with a Glock 10. At max speed, he gets himself a kill for his troubles, and this round begins to look even worse here. Now, Virginia, what are you going to be able to do? These Glocks continue to connect.
And
There's no way you deal with Logic here either.
No.
You know he's there, boys. You know he's there. He's just killed your teammate. You got to check these corners. That's almost frustrating to watch because they know exactly where those players are, and you can just tell they're kind of boxed in. They don't even know where to look because there's so many problems in that round for them. That's just it's a really brutal take from that T-side.
Yeah, the only kill they found, I think, was Cynix there, and I think he actually shoots someone by accident down the O train. He's able to play in front and misses the head and ends up collecting onto the head of someone further back. So yeah, just not able to hit the targets.
So
True.
Take the W's where you can get them, Dan Chan. Take the
True.
W's where you can get them.
And I mean, all in all, a much better strat than the totem pole. That so kudos to Sangal.
You never know. The totem pole could have worked.
Shame we don't see Overpass. Could have seen an around the world. Of a classic. Onke is just dead here, and he surely actually manages to get away, but it does sacrifice his teammate instead. Maybe not the greatest trade deal in the history of trade deals, that. No escape from Paz's Mac 10 there. He'll chase you down, gun you down. Despite the single kill that Navi have found, Pokolev might be able to find more. No, don't let them do this, Sangal. 2 very quick headshots for Pokolev, and he's looking for more. No. Now has a gun in his hands. It's only a Mac 10. Switches out to the AK, but he could find even more. Cut short by Paz, who will try and restore some law and order. But in 1 versus 2, Pogolev has put his team in a wonderful position to try and answer back against Sangal. But Feronke, 19 HP, the Deagle in hand, and Menezi a scout. They could go for the guns if they wanted to, but I think they'll prefer just to try and duo onto Paz, who only has 19 HP. A gust of wind might be enough to knock him down here. And with 10 seconds on the clock, the utility coming through, he's going to try and get that bomb planted towards the A site. Nobody's going to stop him. They're going to try and keep their positions a bit of a mystery against Paz. Smoke starts to work in Paz's favor. That is wonderful. Two very, very clean shots from him around the edge of the smoke. I did not expect them to come through that quickly. I did not expect him to duel against Menezi in connector just straight away. All kinds of just raw aim coming out in this round. Oh, dearie me. Flakes, that was wonderful.
He's headshot Menezi so hard that he left the server.
Jesus.
Slight pause here while we resolve for the technical issue. Of course, I think Menezi had a quick tech issue there. Had to drop, of course, hence the double name in the UI. But a beneficial time for a pause, nonetheless, here for this Navi side, is obviously this has not gone the way that they hoped it would now. 9-8, Sangal, not only have they made it back, but they're starting to take the lead here. This is looking like treacherous times, Dancham.
Certainly is. As Navi Junior, yeah, we mentioned it before, 8-2, I believe the scoreline was. That's yeah, it's been Sangal on a bit of a tear, and Paz finding a round like that. I mean, yeah, it's against what, just pistols, limited armor for the Navi Junior side, but still bailing his team out of a difficult position there in a 1-on-3. Just helps instill some more morale in the Sangal side, and especially in Paz. Just the trust in your own aim can mean a lot as an individual.
Well, one thing is for sure, it's going to be double digits here for Sangal Esports. I don't see a world where Navi pull out a victory here with just a couple USPs, so likely going to be seeing that 10th round come through for the T side, and from there, you will be looking for that quick run to the finish line. Those 6 more rounds required, of course. I gotta be honest, if Sangal are able to secure map 1 here, the thoughts of Navi actually getting a best of 3 victory really begin to dwindle for me, because map 2 does too. Not exactly Navi's playground.
I was hoping for something from that Zeus. I'm disappointed. This is just a run over from Sangal, as you'd expect. But I hoped maybe that Zeus would get a kill towards the top dog. Doesn't. And yeah, it is going to be 10 on the board, as you prophesized. But if... We did mention this earlier as well. If Navi end up dropping this map... Oh no. Oh no. Menezi. The player behind him in the office. Is he not going to... Wait, I'm confused now.
I think you've confused yourself. The classic train map.
Yeah, I thought there was a player in office. Was it a player in main instead? How did that Zeus miss? Oh, it hit the wall, I think, didn't it? Rip. Never mind. It's what a shame. But Sangal to 10, double digits for them. And yeah, if Navi Junior aren't able to collect this map, they go into a very rough position on Dust 2. A map they aren't very confident on. So, yeah, it could be Sangal claiming a clean 2-0 if pick up this. And they are looking aggressive in towards the B side as well, lodging a very early opening pick. And that just sends Navi Junior to save instantly. They don't want any piece of that action. They'll allow Sangal and 11 keep their guns alive themselves. And I mean, I don't know, man. That's, I mean, there's still time to be doing this sort of stuff. For the Navi side, you just don't want to be letting too many rounds like this slip. Excuse me. Because, I mean, Sangal, they aren't too far away from 16. It'll be 11 on the board now.
That's going to be your issue. Is their ability to get to 16 rounds at this point is looking like it's a standard day in the office for this team, to be frank. Just think about the number of rounds. You forget about this half for a second. Just think about the number of consecutive rounds that Sangal have picked up back to back or in near succession, with only maybe 1 or 2 rounds thrown in from the Navi side. Well, that shows a pretty clean picture. I mean, hopefully we see the scoreboard here, because that'll show even more clearly what I'm sort of talking about. This has just been a dominating performance from Sangal towards the tail half of this game. They started slow, don't get me wrong. It was looking pretty poor. I mean, Navi, as we said, were, what, 8-2 up at one point. Once Sangal got themselves into gear, there doesn't seem to be any stopping them.
Oh, for Menezi, though, obviously. He saved a few weapons from that previous round, and I'll hope they could do something with this next one, because it would be a horrible CT half if they weren't able to pick up anything. Obviously, still early days, but a very early frag from Sangal in the previous round. Engine's looking for more of the same here. Not going to collect instantly, and actually takes a lot of damage for his efforts. And his position's now known. He's got quite a few guns trained on him when he peaks, so he needs to be careful. He needs to choose his fights carefully. But this is all a bit of a facade, because a bomb right now, it's over towards Brown Halls. Sangal. Looks like they might want to try a B hit. Pogolev has dealt with the threat towards A. Now, there you go. The fast push in towards B, and Cynix just can't put up any resistance. The bomb's going to get planted. It's a 4-on-3. As Logic has found another, but Onke is going to keep on fighting. Keep trying to keep NAVI Jr. in this round, and they are going to go for the retake this time by the looks of things.
You have to. At this point in the game, this is a round that you have to go for. The question's going to be, will that smoke fade? Will Major be able to spot the angle for the AWP, and they'll be able to catch them as they begin to try and get up close to the site? The answer's actually going to be no, which is good. Navi wants to be able to get up close and personal. Second smoke goes through. Onka will be a little behind here. The AWP will get across off the back of that, but that should be a guaranteed kill here for both of those CTs. Manezi comes through as well, and Onka can get straight on the defuse and get the job done.
Not sure what Sangal were doing there. Seemed like they sort of threw themselves into the line of fire. Or at least Logic did, trying to at least save his teammates. No one had tapped the bomb, I don't think. So there wasn't really need to peek. And Navi Jr., they make good from that, and they find a 9th on the 3-on-3 retake there, which is exactly what they needed. Keeps them in this game, keeps the Sangal side within arm's reach, and with Onke now on a secondary AWP on that CT side, things could start getting a lot harder for Sangal. It's going to provide a lot of power to the AWP to make a quicker rotation towards B and support Cynix, who's had a bit of a rough time already on that B site. Cynix, he's caught early. Menezi has been able to trade, but only 4-1. As a B site again is opened up, and Sangal really are just abusing this side of the map. The bomb is nowhere to be seen, though. Are they going to head through?
They're slowing it down. They're trying to see if they can force the over-rotation from Navi early on here to allow someone like Major to grab these picks as they rotate in. The reality is, Pogolov is doing the exact same thing back to them, and that's beautiful. He pushes up, catches the slow play from Sangal completely off guard. That gives him control of the bomb, and from there, the round completely crumbles. That's a really good read from Navi.
Yeah, Major's just left wondering what the hell to do. 3 players in front of him. He gets them first, but yeah, there's just no way. Instant trades come through, and Navi Jr., they will join Sangal on a double digits. Huge positioning there from Pogolev. I'm not sure if he heard the steps or something while trying to rotate in towards B and sort of held his position, wait for them to come to him. But it worked out massively, and, well, you can see what it resulted in. A round that looked like Sangal's it just looked like Sangal's sort of guaranteed round in a lot of respects there, with the B site opened, like it's 1-2-man advantage, I think. Yeah, certainly huge stuff from Pogolev.
get pretty damn close. That nade going to do some damage as well. Look at that tick. 50 HP down to both players. The push comes through. It seems like NAVI figure out how to hold on to this site here. And Sen4 putting in work from Spindle as well. Major 1 HP. They're just going to be completely shut down by this one man as Paz caught as well. That'll be NAVI. They tie things up.
NAVI, yeah, finally able to find a hole towards this B site, and it actually comes off the back of Sangal setting up an execute rather than just sort of dry peeking in towards the site. The dry peeks they've been finding towards B have been the ones where they've found these openings, and well, for Sangal this time, the execute, it allows the CT to get a little bit more prepared, I think. Cynix avoids the initial fights, keeps himself sort of safely locked in towards a corner, and then strikes when the time is right, with his teammates taking most of the contact. That has forced Sangal now into a position where they're going to have to just go for a min-buy. A couple of Deagles purchased, but that'll probably be about it. NAVI, they'll continue with the double ups. Menezi has been finding damage with his. Okay, not seen him lighting up the scoreboard with that secondary up, but certainly still plenty of opportunities to do so, as it is, as I said, just a few Deagles for the Sangal side. So NAVI will hopefully taking this one in a pretty convincing style, keep at least like 4 players alive in a round like this, and you're good to go for the follow-up.
I wonder what the game plan is here from Sangal. Just all knives out, just going for a little walk right now. Looks like they were trying to see if they can maybe contact out through on towards A, but a bit of a challenge when there's an AWP just holding down the angle. It might be able to get a plant onto B here, though. There's actually no one holding close at AK. Beginning to move up, though, and I think that might have just closed the door on that opportunity.
Plays out heaven. Bomb was the first to push forward, and yeah, very clean mop up from Cynix there. Just a bit of a confidence booster for him, as NAVI Jr. retake the lead in this game, 12-11. And that was just unarmored pistols for the Cynix side. No worries for them. But rebuy coming through. Sensei, he'll have the AWP, the 4 AKs. It's every chance that they can try and tie up this scoreline once again, as they had a good start to this T side. Carried the momentum from the first half, but now things start to be shifting back into NAVI Jr.'s favour. And look at this aggression towards Pop Dog. Sensei just wants every little piece of fear. Takes him down. Onke is in a difficult position, has to switch off of the AWP just to give himself a better chance of staying alive here. But as his teammates are crumbling elsewhere on the map as well, Sonic caught towards B. Angle.
All this aggression could be the future, though. Just take a look at the top of your map right now. Look at Bog-a-Lot. Oh,
never mind. Oh dear, this just
my
isn't
hopes
going
and
Navi's
dreams,
way.
they were snatched away from me at the very second I thought it was about to get exciting. That is disappointing. Pogolov making a smart play, I think, to try and get aggressive, but Sangal just one step ahead.
Yeah, Menezi, 16 HP, a 1 versus 4. Yeah, he's dead. All you need to say, he's dead. Major takes him down, 12-12. This was so aggressive from Sensei. He just had no chance, didn't know what was coming at all. And the round just sort of collapsed from there, didn't it?
This is a complete back and forth affair right now. Sangal, it does feel like they still retain the lead currently, though, and comfortably so, I'd argue. Only dropping a handful of rounds, still got to think about the bigger picture here, the work they've done to get back from the point where they were 8-2 down. With that all said, though, go put money where your mouth is. It's 12-12. Sangal want to show that they are still on top.
Yeah.
Take the lead right here.
I mean, finding 12 rounds, it's all well and good, but unless you convert, it means almost nothing. With Logic finding an opening, certainly looks like Sangal might be able to convert a 13th. As look how much space Sangal have gotten around this A site. Logic is going to be cut off, but do they expect Engine already in towards heaven? What a position to be in as a T side, and Navi have no idea. They still think they control the A site. But they just really do not. And now Engine strikes. He's shown his position. The glass shatters in front of Menezi.
Engine's got himself away from being connector exposed as well. I don't think he's going to get backstabbed there.
Yeah.
That's critical. That's absolutely critical because we could have seen a big kill come through from connector. We still could, to be fair, but it's too little too late. The bomb plant is going to bait the peak likely. Menezi will catch them on the cross, but too little too late to deny the plant. A connector position going to be known as well. I'd imagine some noise has been made. Tap flashes come through. Menezi, another beautiful shot. This connector kill now absolutely critical.
Oh,
but Menezi is just getting it done. The man is an absolute beast.
Oh, he brings out the easy spray again. Oh, I do love it. Oh, he's even going to double easy. It's just that easy for him.
Yeah, that is savage because you don't really expect him to be able to single-handedly open up that round. What I was expecting was his teammate to be able to grab that kill on the connector push, and from there the round becomes relatively simple. But Menezi just pushes, full balls to the wall, and just gets it done. I mean, look, Engine's completely overexposed by going for the peak, fortunately. I don't think anyone expects Menezi to go for the big wide swing. And it catches everyone off guard. But fair play, he gets it done. The easy sticker as well. What's not to love?
Navi, look at their setup towards B as well this round. They know that B's been a weakness, and they're going to play free plays. A lovely setup there with Menezi able to find that opening shot as well. Paz taken down, but now the aggression towards Ivy starts to ramp in. Ornke almost with two. He gets the tag onto Engine with the single bullet. Well as finding Logic, and he's looking for more as well. Sensei will creep into his crosshair, and it's all falling apart. But Engine is going to keep trying to find frags, but it'll only be the one. There's an NAVI Junior up to 14. This shot could have been two. Oof, I'm surprised it isn't, to be honest.
(14-12). Sangal, they were right on the cusp of getting it done. And they've just lost that momentum all over again. Navi, a sleeping beast, to have woken up and started to perform at the final hurdle.
Oh, that nade. Oh, that nade.
Is a gorgeous nade. The molly there as well, just to make life even more difficult. Push comes through. A couple shots not quite going to connect, but Pogolov will be there to fill the gap. From there, the round pretty much falls apart. Paz being claimed by the frag grenade, and he's just Engine, last man standing. There's nothing more to be found here. That nade probably going to do the job.
So much utility damage in that round. Oh, damn. Up diggity dog. 15 for NAVI Junior. And yeah, I mean, I think it was Sanix's nade did like, what, 150 damage straight away? Something ridiculous like that. 2 more nade kills come through. I don't know, man. And Sangal, I mean, they saved what they could. But what they can buy is a single Galil, a few AKs, the scout for Sensei, and just almost no utility. They have so little to work with in this round. It could be NAVI Junior claiming, or it should be NAVI Junior claiming 16. Their own kid, though. Oh, obliterated by the scout of Sensei, rather. They're going to try and recover that weapon, but Pogolov close by. He can mop up 2. As Menezi help him out for one of them, but he's still alive. 3 on 3. That is until Fear strikes, and Major, he's going to be feeling a little bit fearful as he sees him in his crosshairs as well, but can't collect the frag, and it's all up towards Paz. A 1 versus 3. Just over a minute on the clock, and the bomb is down over towards Ivy, while Paz is in CT. Been on an expedition through that B site. But will it take him where he wants to go? Oh, just spots out there, creeping around the corner. Paz is now locked onto his target, looking for the frag. He's going to try and find as much intel as he can, but with fear turning around, he has to strike. Paz's position is now known. He spots out the second player of Pogolev. But where is Cynix hiding? That Molotov, oh, it's just ruins Paz's day. Means he can't progress through that avenue. Has to choose a secondary. And oh, does he not spot Cynix? I think a teammate called it out to him. And damage done, but the kill not found. As Cynix takes him down with just 9 HP. Paz almost had the second kill there, but it is 16-12 for NAVI Jr. And they will take us to Dust 2 with a 1-0 advantage. What are your thoughts, Flakes?
It's a really surprising result, to be honest. Sangal looking like they were going to bring it right back after what felt like a very weak start from them. 8-2 down, they brought it right back to 12-12, a very competitive match. And then it feels like they just slipped out of gear again, much like they were at the start of the game. They just lost control.
Feel free to talk.
Boss, we've done all as you said.
Are you sure about that?
Yes, boss. Everything like you asked. It's in my car, boss.
I'm surprised. You're actually good for something.
So, where is it, Brady?
Here, in the trunk.
What the fuck is that? You fat Irish prick. You're supposed to bring me a coat, not a skinny animal kid. Where is LOOT.BET code I asked it for?
Well, he wasn't talking.
Are you out your mind, Brady? Because I swear, I put your brain to sleep. He ain't talking because his fucking mouth is closed.
So, maybe I should open it.
Oh, don't kill me, please. I tell you everything. God is loot, loot. I'm young. I don't wanna die.
Boss, code is loot.
Oh my god, idiot. Fuck. I surrendered by idiots.
Hey, kid. Sorry about that.